Dark spot there, horizontal. Is that?
Frontal shot, hey?
Yeah, a little ground action with the decoy. Come into me, posturing with his ears back. And just because I was here, I wanted to get a follow-up shot and make him try to end it a little bit quicker. Look at that, he's pretty heavy.
Yeah. You're gonna
deer.
be darn surprised when I show you pictures of him from about 3 years ago.
Yeah?
No joke.
Let's see it.
Yeah, I don't have him with me. I've got him on my computer at home.
He's a pretty good sized deer, huh?
Yeah, he sure is. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's good times.
Yeah, congratulations.
Being able to stalk them on the ground is something else with a bow.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Thank you much.
Yeah. Glad you got him.
Dark spot there, horizontal. Is that?
Can you hear me now? Hopefully you can hear me now. Somebody let me know. We can hear the video, you can't hear me. Man, I don't know anything that I've got shut down. Can you guys hear me now? Yes, sir, you can hear. Rick, you said you can hear as well. Okay. Starting back over here. Sorry about that, guys. Hope everybody can hear me loud and clear now. Thanks for joining. There's several different microphones that I've got set for all these videos. And I'm sorry that you couldn't hear me. Maybe some of you didn't want to hear me, but thanks for joining. I see Dakota's in here from the Fear Not Farm, Rick Hicks with Fast Draw Cannon, and his cow showing, Michael Boyd. That was Mr. Boyd right there in the opening who took the nice buck. Ben and McCoy Edwards are in here as well. Thank you all for joining. Hopefully more will as well. I'm going to start right over with that intro where Mr. Boyd is tracking his deer. Everything looks the same, I see Michael says, on that old grass field. Yes, it kind of does. I'm glad I was there to help. Now, Michael had come up and done some hunting. He did it with archery only. And this was him. After he had shot, he had called me and I went over to help him find the buck. And this is some drone footage that I got of him. And you guys are watching it live right here as Michael's seeing it for the first time as well. Whenever Michael told me he got one, he was very thankful. I was very happy for him that he got him a nice one with his archery set up. You'll see later here, if you're just joining, he had a decoy attached to his bow, and he had saw the buck from a distance, saw a doe too, if I remember right, and worked his way towards him, did a little bit of grunting. The buck stood up, postured up to him, and come his way, and he did a frontal shot on him. I was happy for Michael to have some success on an older buck here in Garfield County. Garfield County, Oklahoma is where that buck came from. I'm going to let it video roll for just a second, and then we'll get on over to some cattle. Livestock sales have been shut down here in the past few weeks for the holidays, but they'll be starting back up after the New Year's.
You're going to be darn surprised when I show you a picture of him from about 3 years ago.
Yeah?
No joke.
Let's see it.
Yeah, I don't have him with me. I've got him on my computer at home.
He's a pretty good sized deer, huh?
Yeah, he sure is. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's good times.
Yeah, congratulations.
Being able to stalk them on the ground is something else with a bow.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Thank you much.
Yeah. Glad you got him.
Once again there, Michael, great buck, and I'm very happy for you. As you heard me mention, the cattle sales will be closed down here throughout the holiday season. OKC West will be starting back this next week. On Monday, they'll sell Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We've got Fairview Sale Barn. They'll be back up and going on Thursday of this next week. The top there says they were closed here in the last two sales in December. And then it'll open up on the 6th, I believe. It's really small print on my screen right now since I had to make some adjustments. And then coming up on the 24th, I believe that is, they got the replacement stock sale. That'll be on a Saturday. And on the screen, as you guys can see, it has the phone numbers to the Fairview sale. If you guys want to call and ask any questions, feel free to do so. Enid Livestock, they're shut down as well. We'll be opening back up this next week as well. I noticed that Enid is also selling some different livestock equipment, and they've got it out front there. This is them driving by showing it. I wanted to share that with y'all. They all I've ever known them to do is sell cattle. They used to sell some sheep and goats and stuff, but that's long gone. But Enid Sale Barn, just west of Enid, they're on Highway 412. If you guys are in need of any livestock or any goods to work livestock around, some shipping containers, they've kind of got a little bit of everything right there. I wanted to share that and help them get some stuff like that sold, some nice portable panels there as well. I don't know the prices on any of that stuff. You guys will just have to call them and check it out. I'm going to read a few of these comments. Dakota says you're thinking about taking your bull calves to Tulsa West. Not too big a sale to drag two stragglers in. Oh, you're going to OKC West. Okay, I see what you're saying there. If you're going to go in there, Dakota, holler at me. Gary Reed, I can give you his phone number. He can get you taken care of. It's nice to have a contact in there on that commission, and they might help you get them pushed through just a little bit faster. Here we go. My cows and babies. This is just one farm. I wanted to show you the baby calves growing the last few weeks. These were starting to be born the first week in December, so some of them are close to 3 weeks old. This farm I'm a little bit over, about 2/3 of the way done. This is on one of my grass pastures that I feed every other day, and the calves and cows both alike are ready to see my feed truck every time I pull up. We're soon to get right over on the livestock, off of the livestock and onto the deer report. I don't know what everybody else feeds their cows, but I was once told if you're feeding them over 16%, it's going straight through them. I'm feeding them 15%, and I give them about 6 to 7 pounds per cow every other day. They're out on the grass. If they're on green, I'm not giving them that feed other than just maybe once a week just to keep them coming to me. But while they're out on the grass and the grass is dormant like it is, they've got plenty to eat scattered out throughout the pasture, but I'm giving them that grain for extra protein. They've also got round bales of hay they can eat on, so helps them get through the winter a little bit better. So here we go with the first buck. And then this is going to be Colton Turney. This was his buck that he took here during archery season. I've got a video of it here, and young man and his dad both there in the picture, but here's the video. Take a look at this shot. Archery poked right in there behind the shoulder on this right side. Looked like it got on the left side for probably affected that shoulder just a little bit on the left side on the exit. You can see the buck is going down right there. If I quit talking, you might be able to hear Colton say, they say something about they got him. And I'm pretty for sure I heard him say, "Thank you, God." So congratulations to Colton. It's a great buck. I'm not sure if it was his first one or if he had taken multiple throughout his hunting. But congratulations to Colton. Also got a local young man here in the Fairview area. That is Andrew Sproul. And I don't know how many point that buck is. I looked at different angles. Rather large, I'm going to say, all the way around. Looks like he was about a mainframe 10 pointer with some extras, so it could have been as much as 12 or 13. From what all I could see, he's got at least that many. 70-yard shot there for Andrew Sproul using a 243 during the Oklahoma gun season. We've got Chris Bell right here with a 10-point buck he just got. I believe that was yesterday. It could have been a couple of days ago, but here in this late archery season, nice 10-point buck, compound bow. Turning on down here, we've got, well, I'm going to skip on down. Jeff Booth. Here's a nice buck. He says he's tagged out with 2 nice bucks. So congratulations, Jeff. I want to read that comment there. Michael says he's heard that deer can only consume 16% as well. You think feeding creep to deer is a good supplement rather than a bag of feed with a big buck printed on it. Certainly saves some money. Hey, Michael, there's been times I put out some of my, where I feed the cows, a lot of the times the deer are up there the next day picking up the crumbs. You guys, everybody who's in the livestock industry might have seen some of that before, but there's been times I've scattered out a little bit of my pellets. They are all natural that I feed to my livestock. There's no additives, no hormones, no medication. So I do that with my livestock because some of the livestock that I sell goes to somebody for butcher, and I don't want them having anything extra in it. And it's safe for the deer to eat it as well. The last couple of years I have not put any feed in deer feeders, but I have put 16% pellets, 15% pellets in the deer feeders as well. The little bitty ones about the size around as a pencil, I think they're called 5/16 in size, and then they'll scatter out the feed just like corn. Bad news is the raccoons, they eat that stuff too, just like they eat corn and anything else. The holiday doe season going on started the week before Christmas. I believe the dates were the 18th. Tomorrow will be the final day. I'm curious how many of y'all have been out there for the echo chamber. I'm glad you told me that. If there's something going on, I had to adjust some sound there earlier. Airdrop 1670. For the extended doe season, right here, Carter was out tonight, took a doe. His girlfriend was sitting with him and helping take some out of the field. Said they saw about 20. Even saw a buck breed a doe while they were out there tonight. I've noticed that I've got all kinds of different bucks moving from different field to different field, back around the scrape areas, walking. I've even had some chasing some does, so there must be some does that missed that November breeding, possibly even some of fawns that were born this last fall, from this last spring, and this is their first cycling here, as they were weaned in the late fall time period. But in this extended season, one thing I wanted to show you guys, Wes Thomas, right there's a antlerless deer, of course, and Wes didn't like the results. And here is another one, antlerless deer as well. And nobody wants to walk up on what they thought was a doe and it be a buck that had already shed its antlers. But we are in the time of year. Some of them can start shedding. They're out there grazing. Somebody's out there trying to fill their antlerless tag, and unfortunately, that's why I wish this antlerless season was a month earlier. I'm certain most everybody tries to look at their head to make sure they're not a button buck, to make sure they're not a buck that is shed. But sometimes that happens this time of year, and we still got 15 more days of hunting season in January to come on. But it happens sometimes. I want to show you this shed antler also. This was not my find, but this was yesterday, and it's just, yes, it's rare, Dakota, for it to happen this early, but it sure enough happens. Guys, we just never know if it's going to be a doe, if it's going to be a buck that's already dropped or not. Wildlife department guys, I don't know how much they do it throughout the state, but as far as I know, they try and take about 10 of those does a year in that January, February time period to do some testing on. Part of what they're testing for is CWD. We talked about that last week. If you missed that episode, check it out. But the CWD they're testing for, they're also trying to figure out what percentage of those does are bred. And they tell me year after year, they end up shooting some does that have already dropped their antlers. I'm hoping that they'll quit just taking them for the CWD testing. There's so many of them that are carrying immunities to it that hopefully that time is soon to be over. Brad Robinson, here he is with a nice big doe. Brad said this was his second deer to ever take, and he did it with his compound bow. So congratulations, Brad. Whether it's your first or your last or anywhere in between there, 50 or 100, it's always exciting to do. And congratulations on your deer. TJ Green right here. This is an archery deer right there. TJ's in eastern Oklahoma. And TJ was just like some of those others who's already taken down a deer thinking that it was a doe. I'm fixing to go to the next picture here. And TJ took that one with his bow, as you could see, with his compound bow. And then he gets up to it and realizes it is a small buck who's already dropped his antlers. So I'm not sharing those for any kind of an insult. So please, nobody take it that way. I'm sharing that just to say, hey, it happens. Watch, and hopefully it won't happen to you, but we really never do know. I think I've already showed you, those two that had shed. I'm curious if any of you all have been out there hunting and had that same thing happen to you. It hasn't to me, but I did one time in black powder season. I shot the first deer that come out thinking that it was a doe, and it was a stinking button buck. I was probably 20 years old, so 25 to 30 years ago, I shot one that was a button buck and wasn't my intention at all. Got up to it and realized it. That was before we had scopes on black powder guns, and that was, I didn't carry a set of binoculars most of the time either, but that was my fault. And I tell you what it did prove to me, whenever you've got a bunch of deer coming out, take a look at that first one. If I pretty much just will not take a first one if it's the only one out there, because I like to look at those does for a little bit, and you can compare the size of their head, how long they are. If they look like they've got a really short nose in comparison to their ears, it's probably this year's deer. Michael, hard to judge a yearling buck versus a young doe. That is right. There's not much size difference. You've seen, Dakota says he's seen the bunches in turkey season holding. Yeah, hey Dakota, I have too. We've got in there turkey season, which starts around the first, used to start around the 1st of April. They pushed it back in this area to allow some more turkeys to get bred before people are taking the males. But I have seen bucks carrying during turkey season. I've seen bucks shedding in December. Usually if it's a buck that sheds in The monitor that I just switched is what's causing the echo. Well, I'll get off of there. Thank you for letting me know that. Thank you much. You might hear my wife in the background. They're playing cards in there. As soon as we get this over, I'll be playing cards too. But there's a little bit of excitement going on in the card game, it sounds like. I have seen them shed in December. I've seen them carry till April. Those deer that shed in December usually are not as healthy as the ones that carry them. But by looking at the pictures, now one guy, Wes Thomas, the two that he showed that had already shed, basically all he showed was the head and the front shoulder area. And then I believe it was TJ Green's deer he had taken with archery. That deer looked small bodied. I personally don't think it was a fawn. I don't think it was a button buck. I think it was a young buck who had just shed his antlers. And the buck looked healthy. So a lot of the times whenever they're dropping early, they're run down pretty bad. We've got some older bucks in the area, and they have, I should have put some of them on here. I'll try and do that next week. Those bucks looked like to me they could have lost a third of their body weight from late October to right now. So 60-day time period chasing does, running around not eating very much, went from a 200-pound deer, it looks like, to 130 or 40-pound deer. Your favorite shed is a Fort Cobb public land shed with 8-inch bases. That was a December shed. Yep. That would be a big one. Dakota, I saw on your wife's Facebook page some shed antlers that you guys had. Looked like there are days you guys collect a plenty. The most I've ever found in one day was with a friend of mine. We come home with 15, and some of those were public, some of it was private, but those deer, they were all within about a half mile to a 1 mile square area that we found all of those. I think I found 26 that season, and I felt like it was a good shed hunting year. But boy, I see some pictures that people share where there is a lot of them. Have any of you guys been out during this holiday season and taken any deer? I didn't see in the comments if anybody had said that or not. And guys, thank you for letting me know that there was an echo. I'll have to look into that and see what is actually going on. I know Michael said it was whenever I switched one of those cameras and I didn't have sound working right off the start. So it's one of them that I turned on causing the echo, but anyhow, I appreciate that. Looking back here through the comments. If anybody's taking a doe in this season, let me know. I am going to grab that camera that I'm going to be giving away. There's actually 2 cameras. Bear with me here just a minute, and I will be right back. Here is one of them. I'm going to go ahead and grab the other one and I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Forgetful in my old age. Hopefully you can see them here. This is the video camera. I'm going to read to you what it says on my side. It says it's 78 power zoom, and it's a Panasonic SDR T70. So I'm just going to show you this thing does work. I purchased a new battery for it. I don't know how long ago, it doesn't matter, but the battery's within a year old, okay? It's still got some videos that I've filmed with my kids, so I'm going to run those videos on over to my computer. It also takes an SD card, which you put right in here. It's a larger SD card. Like I say, the thing zooms in The battery charger will be coming with it. And then I've got one of these smaller cameras that is a form of a GoPro camera. This is not the GoPro brand. And the device that it's in is waterproof, so that you can, well, I can't get it to come out of there right now. There we go. So here's what it's like whenever you get it out of the case. It films in 4K, 30 frames a second, and it's a pretty simple thing to run, but some of the people who's been watching these videos have been youngsters, and some of the youngsters that have been watching and following have told a few friends, they've told their aunts and uncles, and I appreciate that because I've gained some new subscribers on the channel. But I'm going to give these away next week. They both work. What I'm wanting them to go to is a youth hunter. I don't care if they're 5 or if they're 17, as long as they're still in high school. I'm going to have some sort of a drawing where they can comment their numbers. I'll do a drawing and I will get these things to you. This one here, I forgot to say, it does take a small, my fingers are too big and clumsy to get that out of there. It takes one of the small little mini SD cards, and then the other one goes off the larger SD cards. But that will be next week. Rick says you did not go doe hunting, but Rick did take a doe during the gun season. And Dakota says you can walk 10 miles and not find a shed, and find 1 mile and find 10. That is exactly the way it is. So all you youngsters that are watching, I'm going to have you commenting next week. There's going to be a time. I won't do it at the first of the video. Next week we'll be back on Wednesday. So I'm going to say we'll start at 8, and about midways through the show, I'll pull these video cameras out. I will give all you youngsters a chance to pick a number. I've got one request. I would like for you to share the video with someone. You could share it on social media. You could share it with a cousin, an aunt, an uncle. You could share it with 10 people. But then we'll do the drawing after everybody's picked their numbers, and I will announce who it's going to go to, and I'll get it to them. I would clearly want to say these are not my best cameras, folks, but they're stuff that I've used in the past helping me get started, and I'd love to know that some kids are having fun with them. So if you know somebody that might be interested in some of that stuff, have them tune in next Wednesday night. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for letting me know that we was having some audio troubles. And if you get a deer, if you guys are out there, send one to me. Yeah, Michael, I think that's awesome too. Hope they get a hunt filmed and can share it next season. That's my help as well. And you know, with all of this social media, we can share things through social media, share things through Google Drive, get it. If they need some help putting something together, I'd be glad to help any youngster out. As in my opinion, there's not enough youngsters out there hunting, and it could be a dying thing. So I want to be able to help those get going. One other thing, guys, before I forget, and I didn't get anything put on here, but I noticed there's a new page on YouTube, or I found it today. It's called Okie Boys Adventures. I watched the start of one video, and then I got busy and didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I noticed they've got hunting and fishing, not just deer on the hunting. Looked like they had ducks and stuff too. I'm going to announce that one more time. It's Okie Boys Adventures. If you've watched very many of mine, you're not going to find a cuss word on it. I hope you won't find them on there either, but I just watched a few minutes and then had to stop because I was busy. Cannon says, thank you for doing this because I need one for my video. All right, Cannon. Well, I hope you're here watching next week. And if you're an Okie and you enjoy hunting and fishing, you might check out that channel, that Okie Boys Adventures. Hopefully it's a good channel, and I like to help support people that are local and they're here in Oklahoma. So anyhow, thank you all again, and we'll see you next next Wednesday at 8. If you got some more pictures or videos, send them in 3doutdoor@gmail.com.